Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Y'all want me to break into the theme song? This is not how a 50-year-old woman is supposed to act, right? I'm supposed to be prim and proper. Welcome to the channel. You're with Tanisha Ali, and I am here to help you to gain clarity, to up-level your mindset, to clear and heal energetic blockages so that you can manifest the glory of God that is you. Join the evolution. If you have not purchased my book, Manifesting Your Masterpiece, please make sure you do that. Make sure you do that, guys. I got to check my notes for a second. I'm trying to remember the first line of our theme song, okay? Today we are talking about a topic that is very difficult to ignore, okay? Have you a feeling to shine your light on the good things we're able to see? Okay, we're talking about a really important topic. It's becoming one of my favorite topics to talk about because I am inundated, not only with my own experiences over time, but I am inundated with so many relationship readings where the energy is very toxic because of these soul ties with these karmic partners. And I feel that it's really important, especially with the times that we're living in, y'all. Everything is connected, and we're going through a great shift, and our relationships and the energies that are being produced and reflected in society are reflecting that purge and the tension between partners in relationships that are requiring us all to up level and requiring people to really take a deeper look at what is going on and what those relationship dynamics are. And when you can begin to label and understand more deeply the kind of relationship you are in, you know how they say knowing is half the battle? Well, when you're able to label a relationship and understand what kind of relationship is this? Is this a karmic relationship? I know it's a soulmate relationship because karmic relationships, you got to be a soulmate to have a karmic relationship. But it's not the kind of soulmate relationship that is soothing and supportive. This is the one that drags you through the mud, that scorches you and forces you to have to come out and be more of who you are. But it can feel like a dark night of the soul the entire time you're in that relationship. And it's only contrasted with extremely highs, okay? And then you are debased with extreme lows. So I feel like it's important to help people to define what these relationships look like and feel like, and what are some of the hallmarks of these relationships. Now, there's some very common discussion about karmic relationships, and if you search this channel, you're going to find other videos that I have on the channel where I talk about karmic relationships. It will be a good idea to look at some of those videos and to gain deeper knowledge. Karmic relationships are a vibrational thing. It's a vibrational phenomena. You attract who you are through your karmic relationships, and you attract the lessons that you need to learn. There's some critical things that are important to realize when it comes down to a karmic relationship. And there are three things that I really want to highlight. And the first one is like what I just discussed with you, which is that the karmic relationship comes into your life to teach you self-love. Okay? And the way that you know that is that the relationship debases you. There are things that happen in the relationship that you should never have to experience if you had value for yourself. There are experiences that you have in a karmic relationship that cause you to betray yourself, which brings me to number 2, and that is a karmic relationship comes into your life to teach you how to trust your intuition, and not only trust it, but to act on it. Why? Because You're not supposed to have these experiences except to hone you and refine you. And so when you have these experiences, it is always often too a result of not listening to your intuition. Because the interesting thing about a karmic relationship that will keep you from having to go through the fire is ultimately you're supposed to be able to learn to be more discerning, or you're supposed to trust your discernment. So when you go into a karmic relationship, there are always red flags. Ding, 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 ding. The buzzers go off. Woo, woo, woo. The sirens start to sing. Everything in creation tries to get your attention. Even the synchronicities and the numbers try to get your attention to warn you that this person is not the one. But because you have a contract with this person and it is a part of your destiny, you have to have this experience. But the key is to get out sooner rather than later. And the only way to get out is to pay attention to the intuitive yield signs and stop signs along the way. There are guideposts along the entire journey in the relationship with this individual, whoever they may be. And what happens is inevitably, you don't listen. You don't listen. And because you don't listen, you stay stuck in this toxic loop with this toxic individual that also brings out the toxicity within you, or the things within you that you need to see. And y'all, look at my dot. It's not in the center of my head. Sorry about that. But it is designed to help you to see the things in you that you still need to work on, right? The reasons why you keep clashing with this individual, the reasons for these highs and these lows. Now, depending upon where you are in your karmic journey, you may be the sicker, more toxic person, or the other person will be the sicker, more toxic person. So you've got to be able to look at thyself, to look at yourself, to thine own self be true. You've got to really be able to give a fair assessment of who really has the problem in this situation. Now, 9 times out of 10, if you're watching this channel, you are the self-evaluative one. You are the one that's doing the shadow work. You are the one that's trying to heal. So 9 times out of 10, that person is brought into your life to further purge you of those things that are the remnants of the lower vibrational energy that you need to get out of your energy field, so that ultimately you can bring in the one. And I can tell you, the more karmic relationships that you've had, this is not something to be proud of, but the more karmic relationships that you've had, the quicker you'll be able to get out of each successive one, the better and more well-rounded you'll be in determining what is good for you and what is not. And the closer you will be to releasing the karmic residue and the transgenerational curses that put you in this frequency in the first place, so that you can take the path to your divine counterpart. That is the gift that the karmic relationship brings into your life. Look at it as the great purge. So in addition to helping to teach you self-love, or bringing you to a place where you recognize where you dishonor yourself and where you betray yourself, and helping you to get into alignment with what you say you want, with what you do, what you speak, how you act, how you behave. All of those things need to be in alignment. If you say you want a loving relationship, then you need not put up with one that doesn't feel like a loving relationship. You have to be in alignment. In addition to that, it puts you just that much closer to refining your intuitive gifts and learning to trust yourself, and learning that everything you need in terms of spiritual insight and seeing what is in front of you is actually within you, and that you should believe and be able to trust and act upon your intuition. The other thing that a karmic relationship really does is it changes your energy. And that is a beautiful thing, because what allows you to attract that lesson into your life are the negative thought forms and the energetic resonance of your frequency, your aura, everything that is stored in your little bubble and comprises who you are at the subatomic level, at the cellular level, in terms of the chemical releases, when I say chemical releases, I don't want to digress, but what I want to say to you is that every single thing in your experience has a source. And that source goes back to something before it. And that continues back to something before it. So when you react a certain way, when you have a certain reaction, that is not just triggered by your thought processes. It is also supported and nurtured by a chemical release, which is supported and nurtured by some other subatomic energy that is around you in terms of your vibrational frequency, which could be the result of something that you inherited in terms of your DNA. We're talking energy here. We're talking quantum physics here. It could be a result of some other type of entanglement. So the point that I'm making is, when you level up by walking away from that relationship, you shift your energy, you shift your frequency, you heal a part of your chemical makeup. You begin to hardwire to a new experience. You build your confidence. In order to walk away from it, you have to be in your power. So the beauty of a karmic relationship is, by the time you walk away, it's because you know you deserve better. It's because you know that there's been something that has been weighing you down, and you're finally able to walk away and not look back. So you feel empowered. So by the time you leave that karmic relationship, or you sever that connection, however it is severed, you feel invigorated. You feel stronger. You feel more on purpose. You have taken your energy back. You have put your foot down. You put your thing down. So now, those are the benefits of the karmic relationship. So even though you had to go through the fire, even though the situation was restrictive, it was confining, it could have represented a form of toxic codependency. It was literally sapping your life force energy. It could have affected your health. It could have affected your finances. It could have affected your outlook on life. Even though you had to go through that, there is beauty at the end of the tunnel. There is a rainbow on the other side of those clouds, or behind those clouds. There's something beautiful that is born out of that harrowing experience. And that beautiful thing that is born is you. Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home. So let's talk about some of the characteristics of a karmic relationship, so that you can evaluate whether or not you are in one. And pay attention to these things, all right? Because oftentimes we can be seeking some of these things in a relationship because of the way that we have been conditioned. And it is important to drop unhealthy pretenses. That's my daughter. She is vacuuming. Let's see if we can tune that out. Naima, darling, give me just a second. Naima, can you give me about 10 minutes, darling? Yeah, the rest. Thank you, darling. Okay. Such a wonderful young lady. So, all right. Number one, there is a deep sexual chemistry and attraction in this relationship. Okay, you can feel a very powerful pull towards that individual that is rooted in some shadow aspect, or something that can feel uncontrollable, in the sense that you are drawn to that person like a magnet. Now, initially when you meet that person, though, that being drawn to them like a magnet doesn't feel toxic. It feels like, oh my gosh, there's something special about this person. I feel like I've known you before. Oh my goodness, I feel like we've shared past lives together before, and all that other stuff that people talk about. It's like, I feel like I've known you before. There are these coincidences and these uncanny facts that you guys share about your journey along the way, but there's all this stuff that has you in the space of, wow, this is the one. Because there's so much heat, there's this passion, there's this chemistry, there's this uncanny familiarity with this other soul. And so you mistake that for something that it's not. The important thing to realize is that a life of ease and a life of peace and a life of balance is born and maintained in a sense of harmony. It does not have extreme highs. It does not have extreme lows. All right. So when you begin to experience something where it feels head over heels crazy and you feel like you are just falling in love in the worst way. First of all, we don't want to fall in love. We want to walk into love with our eyes wide open, fully present for the experience that we're having. But when you meet your karmic partner, it doesn't quite feel like this. There's a restlessness almost that takes over your life and you become preoccupied with this individual. There's an obsessive kind of tendency that happens in a relationship like this, or sometimes in relationships like this, that feels out of balance. There's something that is not quite at rest and at a normal state or a healthy state of equilibrium in these relationships. So what you inevitably find out, number two, is that those feelings can't be sustained because they're extremes. And so what goes up has to come down, right? Especially when it's way up here. So inevitably, within a short amount of time, something happens to trigger an event with that individual that doesn't feel good. It's no longer up here, it's down here. Something shocking or something that feels almost debasing or something that is great cause for alarm, where the bells go off, ding, 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 or the sirens sound, woo, woo, woo. Something happens and you know it's not normal. Something happens and you're like, what was that? Like this is not normal, okay? This person triggers something in you that you don't really pay attention to. And because you don't pay attention to it, eventually you get drawn into it. Because remember, you're supposed to have this experience because this experience is supposed to teach you. Let's say you have a karmic encounter with someone that's a narcissist. You're supposed to learn what a narcissist is like so that you can navigate the terrain of this matrix or this third dimensional existence, and you can come to know the different ways in which that devil energy can reveal itself, the way that lower vibrational energy can begin to manifest in different personality types. Maybe you were a greenhorn. Maybe you're someone that saw the world through rose-colored glasses. Maybe you're an empath. Maybe you're someone that's naive. The point is, this too is a lesson that you were destined to get. So this person comes into your life to do you that beautiful favor, to bring a little hell with them, but to give you that lesson. Now, by the same token, you are in that person's life to teach them something that they're supposed to learn that more than likely they're not going to quite get. It depends on who is the more evolved in that situation. And usually the one that walks away is the one that is more involved. And that other person is going to have multiple other encounters like that until they're willing to do that work. So you have a situation where you come into union with someone because it is supposed to be. There's a divine hand in this. There's something that has been agreed to in another realm that you have no control over, and this person is in your life for that reason. And until the lesson is learned, you cannot vacate the premises. You will not be able to leave that situation until you walk away with it, until you walk away from it with such a fervent conviction that you will never return, and that you are better than that situation, and that you deserve better, that you will not be able to walk away from that situation until you get that lesson. And usually that's after much disappointment. It can be after a great deal of betrayal. It can be after such a level of toxicity that you could really feel as though you are in that dark night of the soul, or that toxic devil energy, or that codependent relationship for quite some time before you wake up and level up. The point is that over time, you should be able to move through unhealthy relationships faster and let things go faster, or you should get to a point to where you can become so discerning that you don't even get pulled into those energies in the first place, or your vibration raises to a degree to which those people can't even see you and you can't even see them either. Okay, you won't have anything enough in common to even bring you in the same space with that person for a relationship in the first place. So the relationship is characterized by highs and lows. The relationship is always going to be one that drains your energy. It takes you to a lower place than you were in prior to coming into that relationship, which means that this person is going to literally, it's going to feel like you have a relationship with an energy vampire. Every time you're around this person, there's a drama, The drama can be unpredictable. It can be something that is shocking. It always levels to the ground and pummels whatever it was you thought you were building. As I mentioned, the relationship is up here one moment, the next minute is down here. And no matter how much energy you put into the relationship as the one who's trying to reform the energy of the relationship, or making an effort to reform the other individual, or to at least expose them to the quality of relationship that you are seeking, that they too deserve, but that they are lost and not awakened enough to be able to experience, or they simply don't have the tools to, whatever it may be, that relationship serves to bring you face to face with that thing that you need to overcome the most. And oftentimes it's yourself, because you actually are in the way of your own progress, because you're continuing to hold on to a relationship that your higher self, or your intuition, your soul has told you long before, you need to let this go. This is not right for you. You and this person are not equally yoked. This person is dishonest, this person is a manipulator, whatever the story may be, whether you're a guy or a girl, whether you're a feminine or a masculine, is irrelevant, because there are plenty enough people out there. It doesn't matter the gender of the individual. It's the experience that we're talking about. And so the relationship never quite can go the distance. There's this back and forth energy. I like to call it, the circle energy, or the merry-go-round. There's a video on this channel about merry-go-round relationships. Watch it. It's a merry-go-round, or it's a start and stop, an in and out, an on and off type of relationship, a you ghost me, I ghost you type relationship. It's one of those things that never levels up. You may have plans of a future with this individual. You may want to share a life with them, but it can never get off the ground. You can never get your wings. They can never get their wings, and you guys can never float off into the sunset together, because there's this ugly, toxic, low-level energy that characterizes the relationship. And typically, both people are not able to overcome that. Someone cannot do the work that needs to be done to level up in the relationship, and they're not supposed to be. You are supposed to bring them hell, or they are supposed to bring you hell, so that it causes them to look at themselves and to analyze why it is they have trouble in relationships, or why it is they're having difficulty in their life. So you're in their life to provide the contrast that needs to be provided in order for them to see the things about themselves that they need to be able to see. And the funny thing is, who better to do that except someone with the right energy and chemistry, the kind of chemistry that draws you in and can hold you in and almost Four of Pentacles, not let you go. The type of energy that almost feels like an oppressive energy. It feels like an addiction. And that's why when it comes down to getting out of a karmic relationship, you have to treat it like an addiction. You have to recognize that this is a spiritual warfare, and it's about saving your own soul. And that in order to get out of this relationship, you have to pull out every trick in your trick bag. You have to be fully armed, and you have to be in a space of the art of war. Literally, you have to realize how serious this is. These relationships will go on and on and on and on until they break you down. And the one that is the least evolved will never let go of that other person in the relationship, because they live off of the energy of that person. So they are not going to want to let that person go. And even if they pull back and ghost, or they give you the silent treatment, they will inevitably come back like a virus. Because that's what it's like. It's like a virus. You heal from the virus, and then you get reinfected again. And then you get sick. And then you can't go to work. And then you can't take care of your responsibilities because you're in the bed trying to heal from the virus. It has to run its course. And then you get well again, and things start to feel good. And before you know it, the virus comes back with a vengeance. It's like weeds growing up trying to strangle the flowers in your garden. You can't grow fruit, you can't grow vegetables, you can't bloom because you got this toxicity in your energy. And something about that toxicity is difficult to let go of. Whether you convince yourself that you are there to help them, whether you tell yourself that you really love this person, well, how much can you really love somebody else if you don't love yourself? And how much can you really love somebody who doesn't know how to love you? So what you're really feeling may not necessarily be love. And if you think it is, it's an unhealthy kind of love, which again is not really love. Love is acceptance. Love is surrender. Love is ease. Love can even be unrequited because love requires nothing. Love is not strangulation in the sense of strangling the life out of someone, smothering them, suffocating them, standing in the way of their dreams, bringing them drama day in and day out, sapping their life force energy. Okay? That is what a karmic relationship does. It can consume you. It can separate you from your children because it brings so much drama into your life. It doesn't help you. It provides the greatest obstacle to anything constructive that you might be doing. It consumes you. It consumes the energy around you. It consumes your dreams, your time. For many people, it affects their finances. Almost always it's going to affect your finances. Even if the person is not living off you financially, when you're trying to manifest, the energy that you bring, the vibration that you bring to your manifestation work infiltrates your entire life. So if you have a positive, upbeat mindset, then you're going to have experiences that are going to be positive of the same type in your financial life. By the same token, conversely, if you are mentally and emotionally in a dark place and you've been worn down and drained because of a toxic relationship, that's going to affect your work. It's going to affect your drive. If you have, let's say you have a business, you're a business owner, it's going to affect your ability to be effective at that. If you're working on the job, it's going to affect your ability to do your job properly. It's going to affect every area of your life until it finally affects you mentally. Maybe you are stressed out. Maybe you can't sleep. Maybe this thing has become so demanding, you could even be having panic attacks, whatever it is. And then eventually it's going to take a physical toll on your health. By the same token, when you get this energy out of your life, you will begin to feel lighter. You will begin to heal. Things will begin to work out. You will begin to feel more life. You will feel more energized. Your luck and the synchronicities and all the wonderful things that were always there, but they were veiled from you because you were around this dark energy, those things will begin to become unobscured and you will start to feel more energized. You will start to feel more like yourself. So it's important to realize that at the time, the day, the hour, the moment, the second, that you get the lesson, that last lesson that you're supposed to get that allows you to walk away from this relationship, you are empowered. You have learned the lesson. That person has done the work. You can thank them for it. Okay, you don't have to feel bad. You don't have to harbor any resentment. In fact, you should celebrate that moment. And you should celebrate what that person brought into your life because they couldn't have taken you there without your consent. They didn't force you to do anything. You were fully participating in this experience. And that's the beauty of this. No one can take you somewhere that you don't want to go. You are participating, and in whatever level you're participating, you have allowed this to happen, right? You chose to be in this experience. So now that you've chosen to no longer be in this experience and you're taking your energy back and you're feeling more empowered, you're feeling more like yourself, you're feeling as though you've learned what you're supposed to learn, you now know what not to allow yourself to get involved in, you can be thankful for that blessing. You can then now learn how to pay attention to your intuition. You now know what it means not to betray yourself. You now know what some of the red flags are, and you are now in better shape to have a relationship next time around that doesn't feel familiar to you like this particular situation. So be grateful that for the lessons. Be grateful that you learned something from this experience and see the value in it and release that individual. Don't hold any ill will against that individual because you had to have this experience to level up. It's just that simple. You are with Tanisha Ali of Butterfly Transformations. I was able to keep this at about 30 minutes. I am going to pull an oracle card for you, and I'm just going to pull a message I'm going to read from the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards. forget to purchase my book. And if you have, if you're one of the thousands that have purchased it, go back and do a review. I'd love for you to leave a 5-star review. Okay, it's always wonderful to hear what you have to say about the book. So let's get you the message, for those of you who want to stick around, the message that you deserve, the message that your soul needs to hear, the one that is right on time for you at this moment, in this hour, at this second. What is the message that you are supposed to get at this time? Open yourself up to receive. Have you a feeling to shine your light? Shining bright. Emotions. Whatever card is trying to come up, y'all, it's trying to get up here to the top. There is an important message that you are supposed to be receiving. Okay, now, what is the message? Okay, giving and receiving. This is the law of abundance. This is the law of attraction. This is the balancing. This is the harmony. This is the continuity and the wholeness that we get when we have our yin and yang energies in equilibrium, okay? Perfect balance here. Giving is no more important than knowing how to receive. Give and take is different to giving and receiving. Taking and receiving are not the same. Notice taking is the masculine, receiving is the feminine energy, okay? Taking is also, when you take something, it's like you're not giving anything in return. When we take, whoever we take from may or may not have chosen to give. However, when we receive, choice and respect are an integral part of the exchange. Let go of any need to take and embrace the harmony of giving and receiving. So this is a message for you to ask yourself, do you have someone in your life that's taking something? Or are you in a space of taking something or running away with something and not giving something back? Is there a self-centered energy to an experience that you may have? So this is calling on you to take a look at where that take energy may be present in your life and where you need to shift. Now, underneath that, we have the outcome card. And that message is card number 41. And it says this card asks you not to be too attached to a specific outcome. In any new situation, the possibilities are open-ended. Anything might happen. Try not to prescribe a fixed outcome within your mind, as this may limit your availability to access the infinite scope of possibilities sent to guide you in the best possible direction. Whenever you're trying to manifest, it is super important, you guys. Take it from me firsthand, not to get caught up in getting too attached to a particular outcome. Always remember that there's a divine hand, there is the divine hand of providence in any given situation. And that whenever you're trying to manifest something, I'm sorry, I'm feeling, I can be sort of OCD sometimes. Whenever you're trying to manifest something, it's important that you have in your mind that visualization or that goal. But once you cast your fate to the wind and you say your prayer and you say, let it be so, or whatever it is that you do, release yourself from the outcome. Don't be tied to how that thing is going to manifest, how it's going to happen, the divine timing and all of that. That's not your job. Your job is not the how. Your job is not the when. Your job is not any of that. Your job is to be open to allow the divine to bring this thing into your life, because ask and ye shall receive, and not be a source of interference. Why? Because there is a divine wisdom, an infinite wisdom and intelligence that knows better than anything you could ever conjure up in your tiny little mind, knows the best way to bring that level of fulfillment into your life. Your job is to only be open to receive. So you're with Tanisha Ali, helping you to get clear, helping you to up-level that mindset, to clear any blockages that you may have to manifesting your divine birthright, which is abundance. I'll see you for the next video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Bye now.